Welcome back to another video. This one's actually, I'm going to try to compact it as much as possible. I'm making a top 10 what to do when you first get or order the quad stick. It's essential. It'll make everything easier and you will learn along the way. If you have any questions at the end, just leave a comment or email me. All the information in the description box, Discord me, etc. So when you're first ordering the quad stick and you're waiting for it, I recommend that one, subscribe to the forum. So if you do have any questions in the future, you can always go back here and you can ask everybody who owns a quad stick. We all look at the forum, we help as much as we can. And it's pretty neat. It's constantly being added more and more and more. I mean, when I started, it was like at 31. Now it's like 1,200 almost, I believe. So I do recommend subscribe to the forum and please read the first one where it says information for new users. That's the way you structure when you write out questions, so we know what game you're playing, what you're playing it on, how you're trying to play it, what attachments are included. Kind of, so everybody's on the same page. Second, read the manual. I mean, yes, no one likes to read the manual. I mean, even I had to though, because that's the only way I could learn. You don't have to read it fully, but just try. At least you get a foot through the door along your way. You know, the first stepping stone to get to the top. So there is the PDF file, which I don't normally use. I really use the online viewer. When you click on it, it's really structured well. It's trying to be as straightforward as possible, but it's pretty. It gets everything right where you need it. Like if you're having problems connecting, which a lot of people do, you can just click on the side and I know it looks like a mess, but if you read it one line at a time and ignore the rest until you get there, it starts to make sense. Because when I was trying to connect to the PS4 to play Spider-Man, I had to borrow a PS4 from a friend. I didn't know really how to do it per se, but when I read this, it's just pretty straightforward. If I want to connect to the PS4 directly, the best I can, I need a DualShock 4 controller, PS4, emulation support, and firmware. I mean, all this is new to you guys, but you'll come back to this when you need to. So just keep that in mind. Just read it, skim through it, watch my videos. You'll get through it. The next thing I recommend to do, 3, is download the Quadstick Monitor program. To do that, you go to the website, go to downloads, scroll down, and install the latest software. You don't need Vocola unless you want to do voice control. The cool part is it's optional. I mean, it's there if you need it to, but you'll soon learn that it's not too great, but it's kind of neat that it's there. I used to use it. I don't anymore. I learned to do without it. But I recommend, instead of installing the voice control, just stick to one thing at a time. So just install the Quadstick Manager, get used to it. And if you don't have the Quadstick Manager, I highly recommend to either go to the forum, ask somebody, they can give you specific preferences you want, because it's all the settings that you will need to adjust the Quadstick the way you want to, the way you feel comfortable, and depending which Quadstick you have. I mean, I'm down, so just email me if you have a Mac and you want to adjust a Quadstick, but you can't do it because you don't have Windows. Everybody's most likely to help. I have my own presets on this website right here, but I really haven't updated it, so I highly recommend if you don't have Windows and you have a Mac, you need it to like slow down the mouse, increase the mouse, or lower the volume, brightness, mess with the joystick sensitivity, whatever. Just email me or put a question on the forum. I prefer Discord, but all the information I have is in my description box. So not all hope is lost. So don't fright over it. Now it's the next step will be how to control the Quadstick manually. And by that, I mean, kind of wrap your head around how the Quadstick works. I mean, yes, it's sip and puff, but you got to understand the whole dynamic of what combinations there are. And I will show you in a video on what everything kind of means. Okay, when you seen the quad stick turn on and officially reboot, do not touch it, because then if you touch it early on, it kind of centers off the positioning of the quad stick, and next thing you know, your mouse will be strafing across the screen, or sip and puffs won't work correctly. I'm going to be showing you basically the noises or how to switch profiles and modes. So when you first turn on the quad stick, it'll be on the first LED light. That means it's on the default profile, first mode. And to switch modes, you just use a side tube, whether you puff it to go down a mode or sip it to go up a mode. And on the default configuration, there's 6 modes. So one is the left analog stick. You can see me moving it. Second mode is mixed analog stick, with moved the right analog stick right and left, and the left analog stick up and down. Third mode is full right analog stick. Fourth mode is D-pad. Fifth mode is mouse. And the last one is scroll. And then it goes back to one, so it cycles through. To switch profiles, depending on what you have, I mean, I have 32 profiles. They read in alphabetical order, starting from 0 through 9, 8 through Z. It ignores preferences, and default configuration is always first. So to change profiles manually, you use the side tube, but you have to sip really hard for about 2 seconds. Until you hear that noise, it starts to flash really quickly, and it's telling you it's on the first LED light, which is the first profile. Move the quad stick to the right, second profile, third profile, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it's going to go all the way to 32 because that's how many I have. If you move the joystick up, it jumps up 5. So if it's on the first profile, it goes to 6, then 11, then 21, 16, 21, and so forth. And once you choose a profile, let's see, I'm going to choose, I guess, Call of Duty, which is my 7th. Once you have the one you want, click the lip. It'll accept it, and it'll load the profile, and it'll start on the first mode of that profile. I'm going to go back to the first profile. And as you can see on my Google spreadsheet, this is where you customize everything. The left side yellow box is basically what's going to happen. The red box is basically how it's going to function. I want it normally. And the third box, which is column C, is where on the quad stick does it move from. So if you can see on my right side is my demonstration. I'm going to go on the first mode, because here on the bottom are the tabs, and these are the modes that is going to be in order on your quad stick if you haven't moved them yet. First mode is left analog stick, second is mixed, third is right, D-pad, mouse, etc. It ignores preferences tab and a reference card tab. Let's just focus on everything else. Back to the left analog stick, which is the first mode. If you notice on lines 14 and 17, that says left, right, up, down. That's the joystick movement, left, right, up, down. If you look at line 28X, it says lip. So if I click lip, it would be the A button. This actually reads as a PlayStation controller, but PlayStation and Xbox are the exact same thing. So PlayStation X button is actually the A button on the Xbox. So it activates. Triangle would be Y. So it says on line 31, right center puff, and P stands for mouthpiece. Right center puff is Y, which is triangle.
Pause.
So it activates what?
I was getting too angled.
Oh, it's fine. I'm basically done. So this is the gist of it. I think I covered everything. All right, I'm done. I'm pausing now. So with a Quadstick Manager, when you finally do get your Quadstick, once your Quadstick is settled and connected to the computer safely, then you may open Quadstick Manager program. Because then it can read your Quadstick. On the bottom left-hand corner tells you what version of Quadstick Manager you're running. The Quadstick is read, the preferences are loaded, all the game files, etc., and it displays your settings. So, like I said, this is where you adjust all the settings on the Quadstick once you have it fully connected. You got your joystick, so you can increase the sensitivity. If you, the higher the number, the less sensitive it is. The lower the number, the more sensitive it becomes. The middle is basically your dead zone. So for everybody who has the new FPS, which is the blocking one, I normally seen everybody have it between 1 and 2 because it feels like it's not sensitive enough. For me, I have the old one, so I keep my settings the way they are. I mean, I found my sweet spot. You just gotta find yours. Trial and error. Once you get it, won't touch it anymore. So just be patient. This is where you also upgrade your firmware. I keep mine as is because I don't really need anything else. So I'm okay for now. I might need to upgrade mine because I have an Nintendo Switch now, and I kind of want a motion control, but don't need it right now. I'm okay. And then when you're done setting up all your preferences, all your setting sensitivity, you can save preferences to Quadstick. Let it reboot, and you'll be okay. Now it's time for plug and play. I mean, technically, that's what I do. I just plug my Quadstick into my PC and I start playing because I already know what I'm doing. It all depends. For me, I play on PC, but I don't use as a mouse and keyboard. I like to use X360CE. That's my preference. Not that many people like it, but you can make your own or you can learn about emulations. I got a lot of videos on YouTube. Please don't hesitate to ask me. All the information's there. And then if you don't like how I play, you can always make your own profiles. So there's multiple ways you can do that. I mean, all my videos have the links to my profile. You don't use Excel. You don't need a program. All you need is a Google account and Google Drive, which is just go to your email, and then you can always select Drive from there. Or if you can't have a real, or if you have a hard time understanding scripts, you can always look at mine or others. I recommend always going to go to game files, click on the one you want, and you can use it as a template. So if you're gonna play Doom, you can always look at Doom or Call of Duty. Say Call of Duty because everyone wants to play that game right now. Click, highlight it, edit configuration. It opens up a web page. It says view only because you don't own it. So I recommend logging into your Google. See, I'm logged in. Make a copy. Call it whatever you want, and put it in your own folder. Put it wherever you like it. Click select. I'm just gonna click select for the heck of it. I guess I'll rename mine. Click OK. It'll do its thing. And now you own a copy of that profile. You can edit it however you want. No one has to see it. And then you can just start erasing. I mean, I have videos on this, so kind of look at them. I'm just giving you the basics. Left side is basically the output. The red is the function. It's going to act normally. I mean, there's a whole... I have a bunch of videos, so yes. Read the manual, look at my videos, you'll learn it. Functions, how do you want it to act? And the blue square, which is column C, is where on the Quadstick it activates. You can adjust it yourself and be proud of it. Just make sure that you change the name right here how you want it with no spaces. Keep it simple so the Quadstick doesn't have to work too hard. But whatever you do, no spaces in between. It has to be letters, dot CSV. Always end it in CSV. And then when you're ready, click share. Get the shareable link. Quadstick Manager. Add game to user list. Copy the URL after you click share. Wait for it to load. It loaded somewhere. I don't really know what it's called. Call of Duty. Here it is. Delete. This is the one I own, and I put it into my Quadstick Manager. And now that your Quadstick is connected to it, all you gotta do is drag and drop, or you can highlight it and download to Quadstick. I'll show you right now what it looks like. Click it, download to Quadstick. It's gonna do its thing. Download, copy to Call of Duty, and let's see if we can find it. Right here, file 32. So the way this reads is basically alphabetical order, starting from 0 to 9, then A through Z. So, which is why you'll notice, before I said. So the way it works is, it does an alphabetical order from 0 through 9 and A through Z. It ignores preferences, because these are your settings for your Quadstick, you know, all the sensitivities and stuff that you mess with. That's preferences, do not delete. Default CVS is always going to be the first one, no matter what. Highly recommend, do not delete this since you're just starting. I don't even delete it, and I'm like, I've been used to this for so long. I just prefer it as a backup. Don't delete these two. After that, it reads in alphabetical order. Like I said, it starts with numbers and then letters. But the way I memorize things is I put a number in between all my games. So here Andromeda, I think my Call of Duty file is number 7. So I called it 7COD BL. You kind of get the gist of it. If you want to remove it, just highlight it. Remove from Quadstick. Yes, delete it. And it'll be deleted. But just to make sure again, don't delete preferences or defaults. I feel like I'm all over the place. Oh my gosh. The next thing to do is, if you need help, like I said, there's a forum. There's also comments on my YouTube videos. But I do prefer email. But the biggest thing I like to prefer is Discord. It's easier because we can do a one-on-one chat, discuss what I'm going to be helping you on, and we can screen share so we can see exactly the same thing and see the problem, because even I mess up making profiles. One character is off, or I deleted something I'm not supposed to, and I'm spending hours trying to figure it out. So yes, ask help. It's a long video, jeez. But hopefully everything makes sense. Take care, everybody. Happy gaming.